You're just in time. Saved you a seat for the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self improvement. And one of the best ways to do self improvement is to play the infinity game. That's what you need. A game that you are more than happy to participate in forever. That's my deep dive tonight. That's the whole point of self improving, of self discovery, self actualization, the self development, all these different titles or different ways to look at just living your best life. And you can devote that to somebody else. You can point this at a certain career or a certain lifestyle, very specific goals and outcomes. But if we're talking about you and transforming yourself into your own greatest version, then you can allow that game of infinity to be you. Because in this way, you are limitless. There is no end. Now that's not actually possible. Of course, there is an end, and that would be death. But what I mean is, though death comes for all of us as human beings, yet death will, I believe, eternally be out of our control. I mean, who knows? It's already getting pretty crazy with AI. Maybe someday in the far future, it was cryo freezing or whatever. I don't know. But perhaps humans in the far future could figure out a way to beat death, cheat death. Um, I really don't know how that would work. We would definitely be running out of room around here on this planet. Definitely need to be, doing some exploring past the reaches of Earth if that were to be, a thing. Because I just think it would get pretty crowded after a while. But until then, yes, death is absolutely a thing. That is the great end of all ends. Really, it doesn't matter how much you're enjoying it or how much you're hating it. Nothing matters. When it happens completely out of your control. And I like to look at the uncontrollable parts of a man's life as having nothing to do with you. I mean, you can want it to, things you can't control. But then to do that, bro, that one's really tough because there's nothing within your power to affect it in any way, shape, or form. So it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. It's just simply not in your hands. And in this way, it's got nothing to do with you. So death is, I try in my own life to look at, the last day, uh, the true farewell and the final breath. I try to filter it through this framing. If it's out of my control, it will happen whenever it does. Then that means I'm free to do life in the way that I really want to. I always, I mean, it's still like this nowadays. Maybe I'm a teensy, like wee bit closer, but throughout most of my life, I was always confused whenever I heard guys say, usually an older gentleman, in some sort of mentoring position, would say, if you are truly able to accept death, that's how you become free. That's how you're able to truly let go. And so for you to be able to do that in the best way, then you have to understand, I need to live life in a certain way where it actually does not require you to exert these excessive amounts of willpower and effort to maintain a certain way of life. I know how counterintuitive that sounds, especially considering a male self-improvement podcast, because I mean discipline would be the art. It, I see discipline as the art of willpower and the consistency, just showing up consistently, showing up constantly. That's kind of what that is right there. And then the work ethic. The work ethic is a whole ton of effort, a lot of concentration. You're pushing it, physically pushing it, mentally pushing it. And the focus. Yeah, just being able to do these things for a prolonged period of time. All of these things are difficult. All of these things, they throw a ton of friction on you, because it's as if you are intentionally putting yourself through a very specific struggle for the sake of a predicted outcome. That struggling like this will eventually help you attain or obtain that outcome. But then, see, this idea of the infinity is, if you could just be able to do that forever, and if you're able to find anything, something in life you can do forever, then that's my argument tonight. It doesn't actually matter where you go, where it leads, where it stops, where it all ends. You and I, we just know for a fact. We find this out when we're so young. There will be an end. It isn't actually forever, but for you, brother, it needs to be. It really does. This is, I want to try to really help bring you into this new mode of living, where it's just, I'm just going. I'm just doing. I am just living, because this is how I really want to. Now I'm going to stop it right there before I continue. Just doing my best tonight to clarify. We must play the infinity game. This is where a lot of just us as modern men in the 21st century, there is so much suffering happening right here. And what I mean is, I know so many guys who would, if they were, joining in on this conversation tonight, they would very easily say, oh, we're like, what? I've been doing that. I've been doing whatever I want. And I don't know. No, I don't think about when it's going to end, because I'm just always doing what I want. But see, that is very tricky. That is, it's subjective and it's ambiguous at the same time. Because it comes down to the individual man. But if maybe you've seen this yourself personally. Now, yeah, sure. Guys like these, they're definitely more rare. All right. I would say men like this are a scarcity in today's world of the digital, of the virtual, and of tech and the internet. It's a very specific look in their eyes. It's all in the eyes. They say eyes are the windows to the soul. The older I get, the more I kind of see where that expression comes from, or in a more general sense, if you know what you're looking for, you can see so much in a person's eyes, just right here, of kind of what is going on with this person. It definitely practice, time, age, wisdom. I think it takes a lot. Whereas when you're a kid, I never saw anything. Okay, but people were just people. I never even, this wasn't a thing. And it's like you get older, and then, with more life experience, you really start to see that there is this look of zeal. You can clearly see this guy without any specific details of his life. He wants to. He's very willing. And in my personal life, all these guys I see with that look of they want to live their lives. They really, I want to be here. Please let me live longer. Please don't let me die just yet. Please give me more of my own life. And I know how that's starting to sound, but it's actually, well, in the way I've experienced it, it's not, selfish, self-centered, self-serious. It can be, but no, this is more cheery than anything else. This seems to be a very strong intrinsic internal sense of joy. This guy, he is really enjoying his own life, and all those guys I see with that same look, you see, for me, a bunch of these guys are colleagues, so like, we'll work together, and sometimes for hours on end. It's like from the moment hey, how's it going? Like, oh, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. From like the first minute to the very last, that look doesn't really ever fade. It doesn't really change for these kinds of guys. And so the commonalities and the unifying pattern I've noticed is they're all married. So the one true queen, the wifey, is there, and they all have kids. Legacy, lineage, just I don't know, being able to chuck footballs at this little mini me and call him or her sport, like just like that, just like that. And then you throw in you can kind of fill in the blank, throw in the rest of the individual details of what they do for a living, and like the kind of person that they are, and personality, and likes and dislikes, and all the all of those very human traits. So I mean, is the answer to life wife and children? I highly recommend it. That's how I would say that. If you're on the fence, are you a younger guy, single guy, an unsure guy? Oh, absolutely. Oh, do what you can. Fight for her is what I would say. Seek her. Look high and low, near and far, okay? All over the place for your wife. See if you can capture your bride, and then have as many kids as possible. Yeah, I really do mean that. as many as possible. Would that be several? You definitely gonna have to consult her with that. But yeah, sure, why not? But as much as I would highly recommend it, I hesitate to say that is the answer to life for us as men. I'm talking about the most solid, the most foundational, robust way to live. This has to be, you have to be able to repeat this. You have to be able to reiterate this over and over and over and over. Wake up, I'm so down. I'm so down for the rest of your life. So now I'm going to fall back now into, how I kind of started things off tonight, where if you're able to live like this, then bro, you have to see it by now. None of it, like everything else matters just a lot less. A lot of things that would normally stress you out, they 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 don't stress you as much anymore. It's not that these things don't matter. It's like, okay, it's like war, you know what I mean? Matters. The economy matters. The market matters. Uh I know. Hey, this one right here. other people's opinions. They're not supposed to matter. I mean, but we are all human. It's nice if everyone is just not laying it in, to you. I digress. All of these different facets of life that any man in his right mind, like logically speaking, he would care. He would care about. Okay, I care about them too, but you care about them so much less when you know it. I mean, hey, the fact that I get to wake up and just be able to go. You see, I'm being, I am, I'm being, I'm, yes, intentionally vague right here. I'm not trying to specify too intricately, okay? Because the point of tonight is that can be whatever you want. I'm just letting you know, like, I keep seeing this. I met a ton of new colleagues this year. And then these past couple years, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wait a minute, a little bit of pattern recognition. I was like, hold on. Because I'm going through it. I'm thinking about these guys. I'm counting them out. It's like, okay, wow, they're the ones that are thriving. Once again, I I don't know the number in their bank accounts. I don't know what kind of car. Well, for some of them I do, but like I know you know what I mean. I don't know what kind of car they might have parked in their garage or driveway. There we go. I don't know what they get down to, what kind of double life they may be leading. I don't know if there's some kind of like underworld criminals or I don't know. I kind of don't care. What I'm so curious about is all of these guys. They share that um, it factor. They all are grateful. They are living the life that they currently are. That's it, bro. That's it. It's not I got all this stuff. It's not I'm so jacked. It's not like look at how I look or like look what I can do. Look how smart it's just not really anything that is an accolade or an achievement to show off. It absolutely could be. So real quick, it could be examples that I can think of of men, I will always love watching is like Michael Jordan. See, his infinity game was basketball, and that's exactly what I mean. Right, and he doesn't. And he's been retired for years and years and years and years. But like when the life that he was living at a certain point was nothing else really matters. I wake up to ball. That's see, and that's it. The it stops right there. The conversation ends. There actually isn't anything more to add. And he took it above and beyond. And he lived his best life. I think that it can be very easily acknowledged when talking about Michael Jordan. Okay. Michael Jackson. Just like I wake up, I sing and dance. That's it. Again. That's it. That's it. I know he had quite an interesting story though. I've heard bits and pieces of his biography, but that's just okay. I sing, I dance. Okay, all right. He took it above and beyond, led the life that he led. We got we got Mike Tyson. A lot of Mikes, yes, but um, these guys are just elite in elite in the way they chose to live. And it's not that you and I need to be that elite, but that's not the point. The point is, and I think three's enough. So I'll end on Mike Tyson. And Mike's was I wake up, I fight. That's what I do. I strap up, put on the gloves. I box. I fight. I'm a fighter. That's what I do. And none of these guys are still doing that. You know, uh, 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 Mike 1 doesn't ball anymore. Mike 2, rest in peace. Mike 3 doesn't fight anymore. But it really, I think, like any of these guys, if you would ask them, and it's like, hey, did you live your best life? Did it happen in the way that you wanted it to? I mean, hey, maybe they've actually. I mean, there's tons of interviews and whatnot. I mean, maybe you could actually, if you actually like did some research, you could find this answer. Maybe they may have very well already said it. I don't know. I would imagine though, like my, just my own personal intuition, all three of them would be like, yes, of course, because they really, you have to settle. You got to settle on something, and once you do, it's it's forever. It's forever, bro. Now I did, because I don't want this to be confusing. So forgive me. I can't help but probably gonna say this a bunch of more times before the end of tonight. But it's not. It's just that's the way you're playing it. It's not forever, but that's the way you're treating it. That's the way you're doing it. You live like this. You live like this, and you're gonna go to, I want to say one of two. I want to say one of two right here. You probably don't believe me. Honestly, the old me just a decade ago would never have believed a word that I'm saying tonight, or really just, I mean, even for this podcast in general. So I feel that. I feel that. But if you're still with me, then I want to say one of two things right here. You're gonna have everything that you want. You're gonna have everything that you want. I don't know. I just felt the need to say that twice. And if it's not what you want, it will be what you cannot imagine. Unfathomable, unimaginable. It, because it's just so difficult to predict where you could go. Now, remember, brother, I told you, you are limitless in this way. There's no, there's no cap. The cap is death, but that's out of our hands. So what's the cap? What's the box? What is the constraint here? There actually isn't any. Okay, we're not like Saiyans. I love Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is just the bee's knees. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And we're not like a Kryptonian. Okay, we're not like Clark. We're not we're not some kind of just super Winter Soldier, superhuman X-Men mutant. No, we're just old-fashioned, classic, traditional human beings. But you're not limited in any way, though. Because if you don't stop, then now you're gonna have to tell me. By all means, no, for real. I'm here to learn too. So you feel free. You drop it in the comments down below. It's all good, bro. But you're gonna have to tell me what. How would you be limited if you don't stop? I mean, what I'll give you is you could absolutely you could definitely. I mean, any of us do. A lot of us do this too much. I do this too much, but you calculate and you approximate and you deduce and you predict and you think about this way too much, all the analysis. And I'm sure you could give me plenty to prove very likely, very the percentages of certain likelihoods, the highest probabilities of specific outcomes that I give you, bro. That's it's very justified. I mean, I mean, we should be like, rationality has its place. It's not like I want to I want to, like really become a real life Darth Vader. Like I'm really gonna go up there and build the Death Star. I'm gonna hit up Musk and be like, bro, let's collab. I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying, is it's just genuinely feasible. But you're just talking about, okay, just living the most satisfying life possible. When you're talking about being one of those guys that I got a few buddies like this, that just like when you meet this guy, it's like, wow, what's he do? Well, what's it, like what's going on here? Wow, he's sober and he's like this. It's crazy. And it's just because he's just brother, he's just so down. He just wants to be here. Now when you flip that and you look at its polar opposite, you know, this is where a lot of us are struggling. Women do not understand what's going on. It's difficult to blame them because they're going through they are being subjected to the modern female human experience. God knows what is going on over there, okay? Beyond you and me. So there's definitely some disconnect. It takes a very, 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 uh, I don't know. I'm just struggling right now. It just takes a really rare woman, okay, to really get it. To like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a biological female human being, and she would be like, oh, oh, that makes so much sense. I, yup, okay. Like, that's not a thing. You know, you'd be pressed to find one. Best of, don't hold your breath, bro. It's like this, like, it's extremely rare. But I don't blame them because it's a very male thing. And society is not going to get this. Society is too focused on getting as much use out of us as possible. I'm going to stop. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to digress right there because that might be a whole different episode. It's just, you know, okay, one more time. Society just wants to utilize you and me to its maximum. That's the sole objective on a societal level. So you take society out of it, okay, like, you know, cultural norms and you know, whatnot, the standards of, you know, just like whatever country you're uh, living your modern life in, and you take women out of it, okay, and I don't know, kids are kids, right? And it's a whole it's like just a ton of sugar, cartoons, um, making fun of us. I feel like that's definitely what kids do, is make fun of the adults. Um, so they're okay, right? They're definitely out of the picture as well. So men in this way, it's you and me, it's you and me as brothers in arms. Okay, both of us, self-improvers, trying to fight for our best lives, trying to be kings of our own realities. It would only be you and me. It would only be the male mind to understand the plight of the male mind next to him. So now that we are isolated from the rest of the planet, from the rest of the world, then you have to feel me on this, bro. The polar opposite of maybe the consequences of when you don't play the infinity game and everything is very just, yeah, you know, tomorrow brings what tomorrow will bring. You know, no plan, nothing. It's kind of just one day at a time. I mean, living one day at a time is not even necessarily a bad thing, but it's living one day at a time wildly. It's just, oh, I'll see when I get there. I'll see. There is there is directionless. There is no end goal in mind, in sight, in any way, shape, or form. And that's where, I know way more. See, so like those guys are definitely rare, but the majority. This is just really tragic because you're thinking about, wow, how many more men could actually be just overjoyed to live their own lives? And so the majority would say, wait, hold on a second. For my deep dive for tonight's episode, I'm doing what Kumo says. This is my forever game. But then you really, it's not just the eyes, you really just see it. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. It's very droopy. And what I mean is everything is very just kind of down. It's not. I'm not talking about like 24/7 like 24/7 pouting. I'm not talking about like posture. Like I mean, yes, but it's really I don't care. Nothing matters. Nothing matters to me. That's why I live like this. Actually, like I don't bother anyone. Very true in this way. It's a lot of guys retreating to like four walls, and it's just I just want to keep playing this game, and I just want to keep watching this. I just want to keep consuming this virtual stimulus, whatever it may be. That can be a problem. But for what I'm trying to say right here, brother, that isn't the problem I'm addressing. The problem I'm addressing is when you do that and life is still awful. That's so difficult to hide. Yeah, it would take a I don't even know, a very adept psychopath to be able to hide that. Like not even a crack. Okay? This is some what is it? What was his name? What was his name? Norman Bates? Is this Norman Bates level? If you know, you know. It kind of oozes off of them. This could end right now. This could end tonight. This could end tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. Everything is very colorless and tasteless. And it's so strange too, because if you look at this, if you examine this lifestyle down to the nitty gritty, the actual details on a daily basis, it's filled with color, stimulus, action, adventure. This game, RPG, whatever, like shooter. Okay. I try so hard to avoid it, but I can't avoid it because it's a very male thing in the 21st century. It's a whole ton of corn. It's so much corn. It's corn every single day. It's corn every single day, multiple times a day. No, bro, not the one on the cob. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like like the women who make money off of it, that's also a different episode. The women who don't make money off of it are just like, really, bro? I feel like that's the sentiment. That's the look I get. You know, like the women who are just observing, they don't do it for a living. They're just observing and they're just kind of just like, oh my god, that much? 3, 4 times a day? Yeah. Yeah. If they only knew, right? But for us, oh, that's a big part of it right there. And so that's a lot happening. That is very engaging material. Not just the scantily clad females, all of it, all of it put together. This is, like these are very, very uh specifically crafted beverages. These are like artificial, very artificial, man-made flavors that are just you familiar with the meme? The younger you are, the more familiar you are with this meme. It's like pick your favorite modern drink, beverage, or food and send it back a couple centuries, and it's like this would have just killed that person. It's like it would have just killed them, and not even because it's poison or deadly or lethal or toxic or anything like that. Literally because their brain just wouldn't be able to handle the flavor blast. I think I find it really funny and I actually find it pretty spot on. I feel like maybe that actually would happen. Somebody would uh, drink a Mountain Dew Voltage, yeah, like centuries ago, and just it would be so euphoric. They would just all right, just pass over right there. And it's these guys, and there's so many of us, and living just like this, and loathing every minute of it. See, that's crazy. It's like the choice is when you ask any of these guys if you could wish for it, it wouldn't be like that. It would no, not even close. Maybe that those things would be there, but it wouldn't be only these things. Consumption itself, the engagement of all of this internet material would not be the forever game. It's the easiest one to play because you don't have to do anything but sit there. And that's where a lot of us are getting trapped in this way. It's like, can't really break out of this because to break out requires so much effort. And then you look at what maybe you would want to do for the rest of your life, whatever it is. You take money out of it, you take fame and prestige out of it, you take the applause and the cheer, the admiration and the respect, the accolades and the rewards. You just take all of these things off of it, and it has been stripped bare to what is it that you're actually doing, and you take that, and you can say truly and honestly, what I have right here is the rest of my life. What I have right here is what I will always do because this is how I want to live. I just don't buy it. I don't believe the guys that are saying that I have mine, but it's it's like the corn or it's like the Steam library. It's the Netflix catalog. It's all the streamers. It's you know because you don't that's not what a man looks like when he's living his best life. Because if any of these things really were it, like, oh yeah, I'm good with that. I'm so good with this. I really don't need anything else. You would see that look of zeal. You would see that, like, right? Okay, I don't mean to make this comical. It's like I can't say it's impossible. I can't say there is no man on planet Earth doing that and actually truly happy. But at the same time, if he's real, I'm not. I don't want. I don't want you to like. I don't know how you're taking this. I don't want you to take it in a way where you're picturing a fella like watching a show, just like that. No, that's not. He could be. He could be. Like you know what I'm saying? Like a Ned Flanders, bruh. But uh, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I dare you to find one. Dare you to like really you gotta okay, bring this guy on my podcast. I have some questions. This is all he does. He does like nothing else matters because right? He doesn't I don't care about anything else. This is good enough for me. You will not. I'm my stance. I'm stanced up. My stance is you will not find a man experiencing joy like this. But then, but then, like going out there and actually finding a wife, maybe that's not even too bad. And keep it real here at the Pillars of Man. Maybe like that alone, just like, hey, you put this ring on. Okay, maybe that's like kind of chill. But for it to last every day, every single day, I'm your hubby, you're my wifey. You're not going anywhere. We're going to make this work. Baby girl, chillax. We are going to make this work. Okay? And when your kids got you flipping out, how is this possible? You have a permit. You don't have your license yet. And that's what they did to your car. You know, I got you what I saw you begging for when the commercial came on. Okay, when we were doing family movie night. And you trying to tell me that this is not that a new patch or update 2.0 just came out and this is the one that doesn't have it. And you're throwing a tantrum. You know what I mean? It's not that like the marriage, the kids, like the guys that I was like, oh hey, that's weird. How come all these guys are so, yeah, life is dope. Your life isn't dope? How could that be? What's up with that? And that's why I'm not, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying marriage and kids are the answer. I'm just observing what I wanted to share with you tonight. So it's not that these things are easy to get. And it's not that they're easy to maintain and easy to do it the right way and properly. It's as if it's actually very challenging. It's really tough. It's so difficult to work with and stay. Okay, I get this from all the young Zoomer Kings to stay so locked in for. It's really not. But is that why? Is that why? It's because you and me, as men, we always needed struggle. Struggle is very much a part of our souls. I mean, so how is it that you create a king? I don't think he'd be a really good one without burden. How do you create a champion? How do you make a champion? I think he'd be a really, really poopy champion without struggle or challenge. Now I'll end on this. I'll try. I'll try to make it come full circle before I throw up the deuces for tonight. But see, this is what I mean. If you're not sure, then you can let that be you. It might not always be you. After a certain point, I was taught this actually. This one, after a certain point, your self improvement. Okay, once that's done, where you will go, where life will take you, will have nothing to do with your self improvement. Okay, but bro, if you're struggling, having a tough time, life sucks. I don't like this. I don't like any of this. Why is it like this? Whatever. I want to be able to do this. I wish life was like this. I daydream about life being like this. I have to disassociate from how life really is right now because it's not the way I want it to be, etc., etc., etc. It's you. It's you. Play that game, bro. Play that game. Start wherever you want. Start wherever you want. That can literally be the pile of dishes in the sink. That can literally be the heap of laundry in the corner. That can be your desk has not been, you have not taken a Clorox swipe to that bad boy for, we don't have to say how long. It's just been too long. Or it could be, I'm starting the business. Yeah, it could be, I'm gonna begin the investment. It really could be, I'm gonna move. It really could be, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna try and do this. And this is how much savings I have. So if it doesn't work in this time frame, I am so effing effed. It could be super hardcore. I leave that to you. But that's the game. That's the game, bro. We were born into a life that tried so hard to persuade you and me playing that game would never be worth it. Lo and behold, now you and I and so many of our brothers, we're all grown up. And we all learned the hard way. That was the one game to play. That was the one game to play. And you play that one. And you don't worry about anything else. And you play it and you play it. And you live and you live. And you keep going. Then really at that point, it's all good. It really is. It's all good. Because now it's not, oh, okay, oh, this is what I must do. No, it's really just, this is what I do. Must. I wake up and basketball, singing, dancing, boxing. I mean, hey, bro, for you, whatever it is for you, no, you wake up and that's what you do. That's a beautiful life. That is self-improvement, especially one, if the focus for you is the improvement is, it's me. And you're looking for a little tiny space on the internet where another fellow is doing the same thing, and conversations, discussions, guidance, wisdom, whatnot, anything really I can come up with for all the stuff that goes into this. And by all means, you can come right back here and check out The Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find, aimed at male self-improvement surrounding philosophy, masculinity, wellness, lifestyle. I'm your host, Kumo. I continue to reshape the modern male reality, giving any man who wishes to pull the very best out of himself a way to do that. Thank you so much for being here, bro. Like stuff like this, hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a like as well if you got something out of this, and I'll hope to see you real soon for my next one. Same time, same place, right back here. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.